Ladies and gentlemen, so courtesy today of infamous gold tier data miner Otrix, we are going to do a couple of videos breaking down the early data mine abilities and also synergies for both Darkhawk and also Night Thrasher, and there is so much to go over today. So this first video, man, we're going to be talking all about Darkhawk, and in the next video we're going to be talking about Night Thrasher. And I must admit, after going over all the abilities a couple of times this morning, I'm a little bit more excited for Night Thrasher. But both characters look really, really good. But there is just, again, quite a bit to go through today. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. But hang on, ladies and gentlemen. We've got bonus information right here, which is buffs to Electro, Nebula, and Storm, which are also going to be coming, apparently, with the update as well. So basically, all three of these characters are receiving a slightly different mechanic to deal with Shock, because Darkhawk, as a defender, he's going to have auto block and also Shock. But it's really easy to disable as well, because you also have armor break can disable one of his modes, so keep that in mind as well. Armor break is going to be very, very valuable, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. But shock damage, so we've got shock resistance Electro, so Electro is going to take no damage from shock effects, and each shock that he has on him is going to grant Electro additional attack and also additional static shock damage from whenever he receives like a blocked hit, a direct hit, a parry, and also enemy shock effects gain an increased chance to trigger and also more duration on Electro, because, you know, it's a good thing that he's shocked. It's going to power him up even more. So this is actually a really, really awesome mechanic. I really do like this one on Electro, so big thumbs up there, and certainly a nice little buff for the character in certain matchups. Granted that Shock is a little bit rare at the moment, but hey, against Darkhawk, man, maybe Electro is going to be pretty damn fun to play. So yeah, we'll see how that one pans out. And then we've also got shock resistance on Nebula. So Nebula can shrug up to a certain amount of shock debuffs every single fight, and she's going to gain electroshock charges for each shock debuff shrugged off in this way. So again, with these data mine abilities, man, we don't have certain values which are always missing to kind of help determine exactly how useful some of this stuff is going to be. But yeah, Electro is going to be able to shrug off certain shocks and gain electroshock charges, so that should be pretty good. And then Storm is going to have shock resistance based on her stored power, and while suffering from a shock debuff, her special damage is increased by a certain percentage. Hopefully this is absolutely huge, so, you know, she's just taking maybe a very small amount of damage, kind of channeling that energy, and can throw it back tenfold at the enemy. So these, you know, all seem like really, really good stuff to existing characters. You know, I know quite a few people do have a 6-star version of like Nebula or Storm, so yeah, some interesting stuff there. Now we move on to the main event, which is Darkhawk. Now, as a heads up, I want to say this, man, Darkhawk looks like the worst champion to fight if you do not have either a champion that can armor break or a shock immune / resistant champion like Electro, Storm, Nebula, or Korg. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But again, there are plenty of armor break champions. There's definitely no shortage of those in Marvel Contest of Champions, but just keep that in mind for like day one of the event. If you are going for it, bring at least a couple of armor break champions to probably get through this lad, and also tune into the live stream as well. But anyway, so basically Darkhawk is going to have 3 different modes. So he's got a shield mode, a stealth mode, and also a null mode, and these kind of synchronize with various different attacks. So let's talk about kind of his abilities and then explain how those modes weave in. So we've got wing attacks, so attacks that utilize Darkhawk's wings have a certain percentage of armor penetration. Armor broken, if Darkhawk is armor broken, he exits all modes and cannot enter a new mode. So this is again, just one of the things that is going to make armor break so valuable, because the shield mode, man, it's not a good time. It is not a good time at all from reading this. So yeah, boys, armor break champions all the way. Knockdown, so if Darkhawk is knocked down, he exits any other mode and enters shield mode for a certain amount of seconds. Mode activation is unaffected by ability accuracy reduction. Shield mode provides a certain amount of armor and reduces enemy critical damage. And regeneration, if Darkhawk enters a mode from a different mode, he's going to regenerate a certain amount of health over a certain amount of seconds. So I'm interested to see just how powerful that regeneration is, because especially when playing the character, you can quite easily alternate, by the look of it, from like null mode to stealth mode, going like special 3, special 2. So yeah, he might have some pretty good regeneration potential. Who knows about that, which might make him an interesting, sustainable character. Also got a few more pieces of utility that we'll talk about, but regeneration, eh? We'll see how that one works. So shield mode kind of has 3 caveats if awakened, but only 2 if he's unawakened. So unawakened, it's going to provide 40% passive armor and reduces crit damage by 100% for 8 seconds. So yeah, it's going to be very, very hard to get any damage through while he's in shield mode. And if Darkhawk blocks a contact attack while in shield mode, he has a chance to inflict shock, instantly dealing damage, so you don't want to attack into him when he's blocked. But when he's awakened as well, he's also going to have a chance to auto block enemy attacks in shield mode. So yeah, I don't know if you can just wait it out, and if it's only kind of 8-second duration there, or exactly how that's going to work, but you know, it does seem like there's quite a bit going on there that isn't going to be the most nice time. So we're going to see, but again, we don't know if the auto block is going to trigger parry as well, so quite a bit is up in the air in terms of this dude as a defender. But to not worry about any of the shield mode, again, armor break champions is the way to go. And then we have null mode, which seems to be activated by the special 3, which is going to increase attack rating and grants a chance to inflict instant energy damage. So his basic attacks have a chance to inflict shock, which instantly deals damage. So I don't think this is a damage over time one here. And then while in null mode, enemies blocking or struck by Darkhawk's basic attacks also have a chance to be shocked. So yeah, basically, even when blocking, you can also shock the opponent as well. So it might be an interesting way to deal a bit of damage through block. And again, this one should only trigger if you have used a special 3, so keep that one in mind. But I'm not 100% sure about that one, but that's mainly kind of the, you know, you're playing the character, trying to get the most damage out of him, and if you have Darkhawk awakened, you also get additional attack rating in that as well, so it could be pretty interesting there. And then we have stealth mode. So Darkhawk exits any other mode and enters stealth mode for 2 seconds, and this appears to be activated by the special 2, so mode activation is unaffected by ability accuracy reduction. While in stealth mode, Darkhawk becomes invisible, passively reducing the opponent's defensive power gain and causing enemy light and medium attacks a certain percentage chance to miss. And if you have them awakened, you're also going to get increased offensive power rate in this, so you're reducing the amount of power the opponent gets while also increasing the amount of power you get. This could be quite good for certain power control matchups and doing some interesting stuff there, but also, you know, allows you to alternate while quickly build up to the special 3 if you've got an increased rate of power gain. So there may be a way to kind of alternate between these 2 phases to kind of make the most of that regeneration. So yeah, I don't know, man, he's definitely got a bit of interesting potential there, and also having shock damage instead of something like bleed or poison, because there are a lot of characters that are either bleed or poison immune, but not a lot of characters that are heavily resistant to stuff like energy or shock. And also Bishop might be a really, really good matchup for this dude. So I don't know, man, I'm interested to see what happens. Okay, and then we have Darkhawk's special attacks. So Amulet Blast. The Darkhawk Amulet taps into the vast powers in null space, directing it towards the opponent with devastating force. So if Darkhawk is not in a mode, this is going to inflict a damage over time shock, but if he's in shield mode, it's going to inflict stun for a certain amount of seconds. If Darkhawk is in null mode, I believe it's going to inflict shock and or heal block for 10 seconds, and if he's in stealth mode, opponents are going to generate no power from this attack. So he does have quite a lot of ways to potentially gimp opponents' power gain as well, which seems interesting. So I don't know how, you know, if that's going to be a bit of a viable strategy, but I'm curious to see if it works. And then we've got Special 2, so Special 2 is the one used again to activate stealth mode there, so using null space to distort the light around him, Darkhawk is able to elude his opponent and deliver a flurry of slicing attacks, and this one is going to exit any other mode and enter stealth mode. And finally, the Special 3 is null mode, so he's going to enter null mode and inflict heal block, preventing the opponent from healing for a certain amount of seconds, and also has a chance to inflict shock as well on this. So yeah, some interesting stuff with the special 3. So Darkhawk, he doesn't seem like the most game-changing character up there, but who knows, man. He could do some interesting stuff with the values. I think he's mainly going to be a bit of an annoying defender, but it does look like there are plenty of ways to play around some of his mechanics there. Now, with the champion synergies, man, he's got synergies with so many different characters. We've got the Birds of Prey one, which is with Darkhawk, Vulture, Falcon, and Hawkeye, and I hope this one is really, really good. So it's going to give all of the characters plus 5% crit rating, and also damaging debuffs are a certain percentage stronger, and I hope that percentage, man, is a big old fat boy there. So yeah, fingers crossed for that one, because you know, Vulture and Falcon, they certainly need it. And Hawkeye, it would be nice to see Hawkeye get juiced up quite a bit. And then we've also got Dark Justice with Darkhawk, Venom, Punisher, Ghost Rider. So this is going to give all the characters increased power rate against villains, which I think, especially for Ghost Rider, man, Venom as well is going to be really, really good there. But also 10% critical rating against heroes as well. So a bit of a diverse one. But yeah, that could be really, really interesting for certain matchups, and again, just really, really good for Ghost Rider with all his judgments as well. And there's also a really good, what is it, synergy with Night Thrasher and Ghost Rider, which I think could be really, really banging. And then finally, we have one with Moon Knight and also Night Thrasher. So this one is going to allow Darkhawk to start the fight in a random mode. So this could be really, really valuable. And Night Thrasher, enemies have minus armor rating for each unique debuff on them, so again, that could be really good for his damage output, which will talk about in kind of the second video on this. And finally, the one with Moon Knight, which looks really promising, actually. So new and waxing moons are going to grant Moon Knight 30% of max power over 6 seconds at the beginning of the fight, and then full and waning moons are going to grant 10% of max health over 3 seconds at the beginning of the fight. So yeah, that one looks really, really nice, man, especially for kind of those long quests. If you're in the full and waning moons, like getting that regeneration at the start seems really good. But also the power gain, man, kind of instantly going to that special 1 bar of power is going to be very, very nice for the character as well. And I don't know if that's going to synergize with stuff like his what is it, his passive, his signature ability power gain, so it could be interesting to see if it works like that, because that could be even more powerful, but who knows. But yeah, they're really sticking to the moon theme on Moon Knight, which is still a bit of an interesting one, man. And there we go, that's all there is for Darkhawk. So overall, Darkhawk, he's looking like he's going to be a bit of a pain on defense. He looks like he could be quite an interesting champion on offense. Quite a bit this character can do in terms of heal block, reduce power gain, and get a bit of regeneration as well. So not, in my opinion, probably going to be the most game-changing character out there, but he could be quite fun to play, could have quite a few uses throughout the game. So yeah, I'm interested to see how Darkhawk turns out. So ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy this video, feel free to smash that like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Aside from that, thank you very much for watching, take care, and have an absolutely fantastic day.